What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Cartel Cruise Season 1, Episode 3. So, we picked this episode up with Nicole and her dad, and we found out a little bit more about Miss Nicole. Nicole has a couple of businesses. She said she's got a waist training business, an eyelash company. She's working on a lingerie line. She said, a lot of people think she's just a pretty face, but she's a businesswoman too, and she wants to make her money, legit. And we see her dad. She's meeting her dad, and she said, she's a daddy's girl, and that her father takes care of her. She said, whatever she want, he gets her. He said, she said he bought these boobs, he bought this nose, he bought this body. And but one thing she said that hit me a little crazy, she said, he doesn't mind. He loves taking care of me because he knows that the better I look, the more money I make. That hit me a little weird. I don't know. I don't know about that one. But we see them meet up at the fabric store because she wants to do some things with her waist training line. She wants to expand it a little bit, give it a little color, make it a little pop a little bit. And I get the impression that maybe he's an investor in her business, but she didn't say that, so I don't want to speak too much to that. Now, on the other side of town, we have Marie, Kat, and Stephanie meeting up. Steph just got back from her performance, and, they kikiing it up. Girl, you did a good job, blah, blah, blah. So your performance, great, great, great. So, you know how they like to do in these reality shows where they're recapping the same story with different people. So, Nicole is telling her dad about the conversation she had with Marie last week, where she basically accused Stephanie's dad of being a snitch. And then we see Marie recapping the story with Stephanie and Kat talking about the situation. Now, as soon as Miss Nicole told her dad what she said, her father was like, oh, no, 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 no. He said, you don't do that. He said, oh, no, 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 you don't do that. He said, you need to go and apologize, like, now. And Nicole was like, I'll think about it. He said, oh, no, 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 no. You're not going to think about it. You're going to apologize. He said, there are certain games you don't play, and that is one of them. You don't accuse nobody of being a snitch. He said, you don't put that out there. You don't insinuate it. He said, it's just certain things you don't do. I said, you better tell her, Dad. She might be a daddy's girl, but Daddy got her straight. So she was looking at him like, but I think she saw that he was serious. Like, no, you don't play that game. But on the other side of town with the girls kikiing and stuff, of course, Stephanie is going off, and she's like, well, what the hell? Like, how dare she talk about my dad, and how dare she insinuate that my father did not do legal time? I mean, did not do his time the way he should have. And, she went through explaining he did 6 years here, then he had to do a halfway house, then he was on house arrest. And when you add up all them years, he did his time. She was like, but it don't even matter. Like, how dare you? Because, again, outside of the reality show piece of it, you playing games. Like, it's just certain things you just don't put out there, whether you joking, playing TV, whatever. So the next scene, we see that everybody's hanging out at this bar. It's soccer. Columbia's playing. This is the bar where everybody gets together to watch Columbia play. Michael, Marie, and what's his name? Minx, Michael's business partner. They all at the bar, and here comes Kat, Stephanie, and another friend of theirs, and they all hanging out, having a good time. So next thing you know, here come Nicole and her crew. They coming through, and they looking at each other across the bar, and Stephanie is like, I need to go over there and I need to talk to her and get her straight. I need to let her know that, you don't play these games. And then that Nicole is over talking to her friends like, I do need to go talk to her and apologize. I was like, yeah, your dad told your ass you better apologize on sight. And Nicole brought up a good point. Nicole was like, I'm ready to go apologize, but I'm not going to apologize while they yelling at me at the same time. Like, give me a minute, give me a chance to apologize, give me a chance to say what I need to say. Don't just come yelling all in my face, whatever. Los is there with his friend, they there talking and everything. And Kat, before all this went down, Kat was talking about her son reconnecting with his dad and how She's really happy for him, that he's just so happy to spend time with his father. And, she wasn't really sure how things were going to go, but it seems to be going really well. Well, that's when we found out that Los has a situation with his daughter. He has a daughter, but because him and the mom aren't getting along, he can't really see her. He hasn't seen her in a couple of months. And he talks about how that's bothering him, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. So Stephanie rolls up on Nicole. Now, Nicole was going to go over there and talk to Stephanie first. Stephanie just came to her first. And the whole entourage comes with Stephanie. Now, see, if I was Nicole, even though I'm wrong as the day is long, and even though I need to apologize, if I'm Nicole, I'm going to be feeling some kind of way like, yo, it don't take 5 people to come over here and talk to me. I'd be feeling like, are they coming over here to jump me? Are they coming over here to beat me up? Like, what's good? But they ended up going off to the side and having a conversation to the side. And at first, Stephanie was wild. You know what I mean? She was yelling, she was loud, and she was going off. And Nicole, and again, to Nicole's credit, Nicole was like, I hear you. Okay, I hear. All right. She's trying to get a word in. She let Stephanie say what Stephanie, and she was backing up, getting out, And then when Stephanie got done, Nicole was like, you know what? First, Nicole tried to play word games and said, well, I never really said your father was a snitch. All I said was your father only got 6 years. And if that's how Marie wanted to take it, that's on her. But then I think she was like, fuck it. I'm sorry. I apologize if I came out wrong. You're right. I shouldn't have said what I said. And, for that, I apologize. And, she was like, but you did come for me first. You came for me. You was researching me. And so I researched you back. And if, maybe I went a little too far. And for that, I apologize. She was like, but can we just move on? Can we just agree, accept my apology and we move forward? And Stephanie was like, you know what? All right. Stephanie was like, all right, I'm going to do that. Just don't fuck up again. That was kind of her attitude. But don't you fuck up again. And so I could appreciate that because, again, when somebody makes a mistake and they apologize, that's really all you can do is accept the apology and either don't put them in a position to hurt you again or fuck you over again, or you have to make a decision whether you want to be okay with them or whatever. And that's how adults handle their situations, right? But I'm starting to see that little Miss Marie got a problem. Little Miss Marie got a little problem because Marie's on the other side of the bar and she's mad. She was like, I'm out here fighting for her, defending her, and she just going to accept this girl's apology. I really think that Marie wanted her to just fuck her up at the bar, kick her ass, run her head along the bar a little bit, and then Marie would have been cool. But Stephanie is like, you know what, we're adults, and she apologized, she fucked up. All I could do is accept her apology and keep my eye on her. You know what I mean? Marie, you the one that brought her around to begin with. That was you. You introduced her to the crew. So I was like, that's going to be a problem. I knew that was going to be a situation. So I was like, all right, we're going to keep an eye on that one. Because Marie was really was not happy that Stephanie had accepted her apology, right? So then we see Los and Kat. And I like their relationship because, Kat has the tattoo shop. And Los works for her. And they seem to have a really good relationship. And he was talking to her about the problem he's having with seeing his daughter and I guess he was talking to her, maybe just venting a little bit, maybe getting some advice. And, she was like, well, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Because in Los's defense, he knows he screwed up. He's like, my daughter's mother has legit reason to not trust me. When we were together, I cheated on her. I was a raging alcoholic. I was in that life. I was out there doing a lot of shit I shouldn't have been doing. So she has every right to feel the way she feels. He was like, however, I'm trying to show her and prove to her that I'm legit now. I'm out of that life. I'm not drinking like that anymore. I mean, he was still drinking on the show, but it didn't look like he was getting drunk. You know what I mean? And he was like, I really miss my daughter and I want to see my daughter. And so Kat was just kind of like, okay, well, are you paid up on your child support? Are you doing... First she was like, are you doing everything you're supposed to be doing? And he was like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And she was like, are you paid up on your child support? And he sort of hesitated a little bit. And he was like, man, if I'm one day short, then they this and they that and they tripping about that. And she was like, okay, well, you can't you got to do that. Like, you got to take care of what you got to take care of. You got to be the person you're supposed to be. And he was saying that he's like $1,000 behind or something like that. And, she said, he's like, I should have never talked to you because you're not even listening to me. She was like, no, I'm listening to you. She said, you know that you're my ride or die. My loyalty is with you. She said, however, I'm just trying to get you to understand the other side. I'm trying to get you to see it. She was like, not even from your daughter's mother's perspective, but from your daughter's perspective. She was like, and if you're not ready, you got to be ready to do everything that you're supposed to do and be the kind of father she needs you to be. She said, because life is short. And again, she's coming from the point of view of, my dad was taken from me. So, I don't take this shit lightly because I never had that. My father was gone, and it wasn't, he was gone living down the street, and, because he didn't pay his child support. He was gone because he was murdered. So she was like, you just need to make sure that you mean what you say and you're going to do what you're going to do. And I think he understood that. And I can respect that. She was like, look, you're my friend, but I'm going to give it to you straight. And I thought it was a good conversation. He got really emotional. He was crying and everything. And I think that, it's hard when you fuck up, especially when you talking about a child involved in that. It's hard to come back from that, and it does take a long time to build that trust. And I don't know nothing about his baby's mother. We're going to see her later on in the episode, and I got some feelings about that. But it takes a while. You got to build that trust back up. You have to build that back up when somebody says, you know what, I see you, I see what you're doing, and I'm going to trust that you're doing the right thing now. I'm going to trust that you're on the right path with my child. So anyway, we'll get back to that. So Nicole and her brother, Michael, Nicole said, after talking to Stephanie, after talking to Dad and realizing, I kind of went across the line. I kind of did a little too much. I understand that I didn't grow up in the cartel. Like, my family got out of it, before I really had to deal with a lot of tragedy. She said, but maybe I do need to know a little bit more about my history with the cartel and understand the rules a little bit and what I should and shouldn't be saying or doing. So there was a scene with her and her brother and her mom. Mom was making some homemade, I don't want to say the wrong thing. It looked like empanadas. Empanadas? Am I saying that right? Anyway, it looked good. I wanted some, But the mama was like, look, I'm going to tell y'all this story one time and one time only, and under one condition, that y'all don't never ask me about this shit again. I don't want to talk about no cartel. I don't want to talk about the family in the cartel, who's in the cartel, who's not in the cartel. I'm going to give you what I got, and then we done with it. I said, I know that's right, Mama. You better let them know that that's the end of this conversation. So she told them how, she said, look, your father is a good businessman, and he's a legit businessman. She said, now, his family, that's a whole nother conversation. She said, when I met your dad, and I started meeting the other parts of the family, I realized that shit wasn't the same. I realized something wasn't right. They had all these cars, they had all these houses, but they ain't had no damn job. She said, his aunt and uncle, I was hanging out with them. I was hanging out with the aunt one day, and I realized we were being chased. Somebody was following us. I ain't feel right about that shit. I told her, let me out right here. She got out the car. Next thing you know, she said the FBI, the DEA, and everybody else swooped in. Whole lot of people got arrested. She said, your aunt and uncle, though, they knew some people that could make up a passport for them. They got the hell out the country. She said, so that's all I got. That's all I'm telling you. And we're done with this conversation. And Nicole was like, wow, I didn't realize how, she said, I knew that my family was cartel affiliated, but I did not know how deep into the cartel our family was, as far as like my aunt and uncle, getting out of the country and everything like that. And so I was like, oh, that's very interesting. Okay. But Mama was like, and I'm done, and I'm gonna finish cooking dinner, and we good. Okay. Bad news, y'all. Some bad news that went down. Kat, after she was bragging on her Eddie, her baby daddy, getting out of jail, he was on house arrest, doing really well, spending time with the son. Everything was going well with the son. Well, come to find out, and this is her side of the story, which I believe, because the criminal justice system is some shit sometimes. So here's the situation. Eddie, I hate saying baby mama, baby daddy. I hate that. The father of her child, Eddie, he was on house arrest. He had permission to go to work and come home, and that is it. And so on his way home from work, he got off the bus for whatever reason. She said maybe he was thirsty, maybe he was hungry. He got off the bus, went to the cafeteria to get himself something to eat, got violated because, of course, his ankle bracelet said he was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. So now he's in the halfway house, and as a result, his visitation is violated. He can't even FaceTime the baby no more, and he has to stay in the halfway house until to finish out his probation. And if he makes another mistake, he's going back to jail. See, that's where the criminal justice system is fucked up. You mean to tell me that because this man got off the bus to get himself something to eat, he's violated? And again, that's one side of the story. That may not be the whole story. Maybe the police caught him trying to meet up with some people he wasn't supposed to meet up with in that cafeteria. I can't speak to that. I'm going to only go to what the story that was told to us. That's where the criminal justice system, in my mind, creates a situation that's almost impossible for people to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Here's a man that's going to work, spending time with his child, whatever the situation is. And here we are now. The bond he was building with his son is now broken because he made a bad decision about getting something to eat. Really? Really? Anyway, so Kat goes to Michael to talk to him about, look, now I have to tell her son, now I have to tell him you're not going to see your dad this weekend. And not only you're not going to see him this weekend, but you're not going to see him at all. Now, Michael gave her some advice that at the time I didn't agree with. He was like, when my mom was in jail, the one thing I respected is that my mom always kept it 100 with me. My mom was always honest with me. And as a result, I respected her because she always told me the truth. He was like, you're going to have to sugarcoat it a little bit, but you need to let him know what's up. You need to tell him what's going on. You need to explain it to him because he's old enough to understand certain things. And, don't lie to him because then when he gets older, then he's going to resent you for that. Now, I didn't agree with that. This little boy is young, and I thought he was too young to understand. I said, I don't think that's a good idea. In my mind, I'm thinking, I don't think that that's what he should do. Now, later on in the episode, we saw her actually talk to her son. And the way she talked to him, it actually was a really good conversation. And the way she said, you're not going to be able to see daddy this weekend. And he was like, why? She said, and he said, did daddy make you mad or something like that? And she said, no, it wasn't me. She said, daddy did some things he wasn't supposed to do. She said, there are rules and you have to follow rules, and daddy didn't follow the rules. And because of that, she said, you know how I put you in timeout when you do something wrong? And he was like, yeah. She said, well, daddy's in timeout. And because he's in timeout, you can't go see him this weekend. And I was like, you know what? Now that actually was because she didn't get into jail and all of that stuff. She just said he's somewhere. He's gone away for a little while and he did something wrong. He broke a rule. And I think that was a really nice way that was handled. So kudos. Because I didn't agree with Michael at first, but then when I saw it in action, I said, this is actually pretty good. Okay? Now we have Stephanie and Nicole. Nicole called Stephanie or reached out to her through her DM and said, let's talk. The other night when we were at the bar, I really had more I wanted to say, but I realized that wasn't the time or the place. I just wanted it to be me and you one-on-one. I don't have my friends with me. You don't have your friends with you. And let's just talk. And so they actually had a really good conversation. And what Nicole was telling Stephanie was, look, no, I didn't grow up like y'all grew up. I didn't have the tragedy in my life that y'all had as far as the murders and with the cartel. She said, but I had other struggles. And she said, I was bullied. She said, I admit I am all plastic, honey. I've had a lot of surgery. She said, but growing up, I didn't look this way. And in school, I was bullied and the girls, really hassled me and treated me, some kind of way or whatever. She was like, so when y'all roll up on me, it brings back all of that. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to fight or I'm going to have to lash out because that's all I know to do because of my experiences with being, being bullied. And Stephanie was like, you know what? She said, I understand what you're saying. She was like, and that makes a lot of sense. Yes, I lived a certain life and I've had some struggles, but that doesn't mean that I, got the monopoly on, a bad life or whatever. And she was saying how, she's had struggles with weight. She said, so I know what it feels like. Girl, when I was growing up, people picked on me about my weight. So I get it. She said kids can be cruel. And they actually talked and realized that they actually have more in common than they had, I guess, uncommon. And Stephanie was like, I'm going to really try to give Nicole a chance. She said, now, we ain't best friends or nothing. Don't get it twisted. She said, but I am going to actually really give Nicole a chance. She said, and I know Maria ain't going to be feeling it. I know she's not going to like it. But it is what it is. Like, I'm an adult. I make my own decisions. So I was like, yeah, you're right. Maria ain't going to be feeling this shit. But they had a really good conversation. All right. So Los meets up with the mother of his daughter. I think her name is Liz. Now, here's my problem. I like Los. But Los, you went in hot, boo. You need to be a little humble because you need something from her. You may not like that you need something from her. You may not like that you have to be nice to her. But at the end of the day, she has control over whether you see your daughter or not. You may not like it. But she has custody. You behind on child support. She don't trust you. So at the end of the day, you kind of need to kiss her ass a little bit. Now, and maybe kiss her ass is a little bit much. But you rolled up in there with an attitude. Like, you were nasty to this woman. And instead of saying, I understand that you don't think I understand that I did you wrong. I understand that I treated you badly in our relationship. But understand that I'm trying to be a better person. And I really want to see my child. And I really miss my daughter. And I'm working and I'm doing the best I can. Yes, I'm behind on child support. But I'm really trying to be a better father. I think you might have got a little bit more out of her than I ain't gonna kiss no ass of a woman scorned, and you really act like you just go, I'm not gonna kiss your ass. You're not gonna hold this. So I'm like, you need her. And she may be a woman scorned, and she might be wrong for keeping your daughter away from you just because y'all relationship didn't work out. I'm not justifying or defending none of that because I think it's wrong when mothers and fathers, but mainly we know it happens a lot more with mothers, are vindictive and keep the kid away from the parent. Like, we know that that's wrong. We know that there's no defense for that. But at the end of the day, you need her on your side if you want to see your daughter. And basically, she said, you cheated on me when we were together. You treated me, bad when we were together. See, that's that woman scorn thing. And he said that. He was like, well, I'm not going to kiss your ass. I'm not going to kiss the ass of no woman scorned. And I'm like, but you kind of do need to do that. And she said, well, I don't need to sit here for this. And she gets up and leaves. So he follows her out and was like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, this real mature of you. That's real mature. You just going to walk away. And she flipped him the bird and kept it walking. He was like, real classy. That's real classy. But in my mind, I'm like, you was real disrespectful to her. Like, you talked to her like some shit. And I like you, Los, but you going to have to humble yourself a little bit, bruh. All right. This is running long. Last but not least, Marie and Stephanie. Marie called Stephanie. She said, I wanted to talk to you because I really didn't, I really have a problem with the fact that you apologized. You accepted Nicole's apology. And Stephanie was like, why? She said, this woman, she apologized. What more do you want from me? She was like, well, I'm out here fighting for you and you making me look stupid because you just accepted her apology. And Stephanie was like, but look, she said, first of all, we grown. And second of all, how I look out here fighting, I'm representing Young Money. I can't be out here in these streets acting crazy, putting my livelihood in jeopardy if I'm out here fighting in the streets and I'm supposed to be representing Young Money. And I was like, ooh, she is so fucking mature. I wish we could get some of these other people to understand that when you have a brand to represent, you can't be out here acting stupid. So then Marie was like, well, what you talking about? I have a whole business. I have a business. Okay, that's all the more reason why your ass don't need to be out here throwing salads in people's face too. How about that? So Marie gets really pissed off, and she was like, you know what? Fuck it then. Fine, fine. You want to be friends with her? That's fine. You know, and you're going to find out the long way. And Stephanie was like, what are you talking about? Like, and Stephanie even said, she said, I really appreciate you having my back. I appreciate you defending me even though I wasn't around. I appreciate that you were that kind of friend to me. Like, she, you know what I mean? Like, she told her all of that. She was like, but at the end of the day, yes, I'm going to accept her apology. She was wrong. She knew she was wrong. She apologized. I don't know what else you wanted us to do, how else you wanted us to handle that. Honey, Miss Marie got mad. She stepped up. She rolled out they were at the cafe shop. She was in her confessional talking about, fuck Stephanie, fuck this coffee shop, and fuck this interview, and gets up and stomps off. I'm like, Marie has a little attitude. And then she said, if she want to see what it's like to be my enemy, she about to find out. I said, wow, Marie, that's a lot. So anyway, honey, Stephanie and Marie, they done split, honey. We gonna see how this plays out. Y'all let me know what y'all think in these comments. This show is pretty good, huh? Let me know what y'all think in them comments. Peace.